Canto 33. Summary. The vision ends with the previous canto, but Dante now hears the ladies weeping in response to it while they sing Psalm 79, "O God, the nations have come into your inheritance." The company arises and moves away, and Beatrice beckons the pilgrim to her side so they can talk. She then explains that a new emperor will come and restore right order to the land, and thus to the church as well. And though her speech is obscure now, facts will come and bring clarity to what she predicts. Furthermore, had Dante been less asleep and overwhelmed, he would have known that the tree just seen was a moral allegory for God's justice in banishing not just Adam and Eve, but also the whore, on account of her corruption. Dante wonders at this implied rebuke and asks Beatrice about it. She tells him the reason for her words, that he might know how far he has strayed from her. To this the pilgrim responds that he has no memory of ever abandoning Beatrice. She reminds him that he has just drunk the waters of Lethe, which removes the memory of sin. This confirms that his past actions were in fact sinful, as the memory of them has been removed. She then assures him that from here on out, her teaching will be clear and unveiled. They come to the central fountain, from which Lethe and Eunoe both spring. The beautiful lady, now revealed to be Matilda, beckons to Dante to come and follow her to the second stream, telling Statius to come as well. She brings the pilgrim through, submerging him as she did in Lethe, so that he might drink of these waters as well. Rising up, refashioned and reborn, he is now ready to rise to the stars. Canto 33. Two Rivers. Deus venerunt gentes, with weeping the ladies began their sweet psalmody, going back and forth, now 3 and now 4. And Beatrice, sighing and compassionate, was listening to them, becoming such as Mary, little more changed at the cross. But when the other virgins gave her space to speak, rising straight up onto her feet, she responded, coloring like a flame, "Modicum et non vibitis me, et iterum, my beloved sisters, modicum et vos vidibitis me." Then she placed all 7 in front of her, and after her, just by hinting, she moved me, the lady, and the sage that remained. Thus she went forth, and I do not believe she had placed her 10th step upon the earth when, with her eyes, my eyes, she overwhelmed. And with a tranquil look, "Come more quickly," she told me, "so that if I speak with you, you will be well placed to listen to me." As soon as I was with her, as I ought, she asked me, "Brother, why do you not try to ask me questions, coming with me now?" As those who are overly reverent when speaking before their superiors do not bring a living voice past their teeth, so it was with me that without full sound I began, "My lady, what is needful for me you know, and for that what is good." And she said to me, "From fear and from shame I wish that you would untangle yourself, such that you speak no more as one who dreams. Know that the vessel that the serpent broke was and is not, but let the guilty one believe God's vengeance fears no hindrances. Not always will the eagle be without an heir, who left his feathers on the cart, which became a monster and, after, prey. This I see clearly, and thus narrate it, to give the time. The stars are already near, safe from every setback and every bolt, in which time a 510 messenger of God will kill the whore-thief, and that giant who with her breaks the law. And perhaps my narration, as obscure as Themis and the Sphinx, persuades you less, for, like theirs, it darkens the intellect. But very soon facts will be the naiads that will solve this difficult enigma, without loss of either sheep or fodder. Take note, as they are delivered by me, in the same way write down these words for those who live the life that is a race to death. And bear this in mind when you write it down, not to hide what you have seen of the tree, for now it has here been stolen from twice. Whoever steals from it or tears it up with a blasphemy of act offends God, who for his use alone made it holy. For biting it in pain and in desire, the first soul yearned 5,000 years and more for him who punished that bite in himself. Your wit is asleep if it cannot judge that from one cause it is raised up so high, and in such wise inverted at its peak? And if your vain thoughts had not been water of Elsa around your mind, and their joy a Pyramus at the mulberry tree, by so many circumstances alone you could have seen the tree in moral terms as the justice of God in his banning. But since I see in you the intellect being turned into stone and petrified, stained, such that the light of my speech now blinds you, I also want you to carry it back within you, if not written, at least drawn, for the reason's staffs return wreathed with palm. And I, as with the wax beneath the seal that does not alter the figure engraved, so my brain has now been impressed by you. But why does your speech, being so desired, fly so far above my vision, that the more it tries to understand, the more it fails? So that you may perceive, she said, that school you have followed, and see how its teaching is able to follow after my speech. That you may see your ways are as distant from the divine as the earth is different from the heaven that hastens most on high. Wherefore I answered, I don't remember ever making myself estranged from you, nor have I a conscience that torments me. And if you yourself cannot remember, she said, smiling, bring back to your mind how even today you have drunk of Lethe. And if a fire can be reasoned from smoke, so much oblivion clearly confirms the guilt in turning your desire elsewhere. Truly, my teachings will now be naked, however much it is necessary, to uncover them to your coarse vision. Both beaming brighter and with slower steps, the sun was holding the wheel of midday, that comes here, there, wherever one may be. When the 7 ladies stopped, as one does, who walks ahead of people as their guide, when he finds a novelty or its sign, at the outer edge of a pale shadow, as mountains might cast over cold rivers beneath green foliage and black branches. Before them, I seemed to see Euphrates and Tigris springing from just one fountain, and as if friends flowing on lazily. O light! O glory of the human race! What water is this that spreads itself here from one fount and parts itself from itself? To such a question this speech was made. Beg Matilda tell you. And here responded, as one does to unhitch blame from oneself, the beautiful lady. This and much more have been told him by me, and I am sure Lethe's water did not hide them from him. And Beatrice, perhaps a greater care that often deprives one of memory has obscured it in the eyes of his mind. But behold Eunoe, that begins there. Lead him to it, and, as is your custom, bring back to life his stupefied powers. As a noble soul who makes no excuse but makes its will from the will of others, as soon as a gesture has made it known. So too, after she took me by the hand, the beautiful lady moved, and then said to Statius, courteously, Come with him. If, reader, I had more space for writing, I would still be singing, in part, of that sweet drink that could never satiate me. But now, since all my pages have been filled, those outlined for this second canticle, the reins of art let me go no further. Returned I from that most holy water, refashioned, in the same way new plants are reborn, with leafy branches newly grown, pure, and made ready to rise to the stars.